NDN podcast on location. I am here with Lee Francis.
Is it really a podcast now? Because it's like we're doing video?
Well, it's...
Isn't it a podcast at that point?
Well, if you want to get technical.
Okay, I just want to make sure.
So,
thank you,
tell us a
it's
little
great.
bit about where we are.
Yeah, so we're here over right next to about 20 yards away from Red Planet Books and Comics.
Let's go take a tour.
Let's take it, let's bring you on over. So yeah, so this is, we opened this, it's the only native comic shop in the world. It's only one of 4 native bookstores in the United States that specialize in native books. We opened almost 2 years ago, so we're coming up on our 2nd anniversary in June this year, which is very exciting because that's usually that sort of threshold for small business owners. Like once you sort of move past that kind of first year, you get into that 2nd year, it's like, okay, you guys may be around a little while. Yeah, we did some great work. This, the whole front side of this, the mural was done by Joe Stacy. He's Hopi and Laguna. I think there's other things that are mixed in there, but you know, a Pueblo brother that put this together literally in a day. It was amazing. His work is fantastic, and I think it just covers exactly, you know, what we had hoped with this store, right? So it covers everything in the space. So come on in, let's go. So yeah. So you know, the way we've got the shop set up is we just got a whole bunch of like, you know, this is pretty much like our native section, the big native section. So we've got used books, we've got new books. We don't have non-native folks really in this space. And in the shop, really too much. It's probably about 80% native, 20% non-native. 20% really comes in the way of like games. But what we also really try to showcase is people of color and communities of color, marginalized communities, because we don't often get privileged in larger bookstores, unless it's like a, you know, bestseller or something. So we want to make sure that folks have the chance to really showcase their work here, and especially a lot of these indie titles or titles that don't get like very wide releases or whatever. So we put them up in our space.
So what's the benefit of having a brick and mortar shop, particularly for native entrepreneurs who are looking at starting off and moving forward in their business?
It's super crazy what happened. You know, we started Native Realities, the actual company, about you know, I think almost 5 years ago at this point. And when we started that, we got a little bit of coverage here and there. I was like, oh, it's a native publishing company. Oh, they do native comics. We opened the shop and people are just like, oh my goodness, it's a native bookstore. And we just had a release that KOAT did a whole little, you know, long form interview with us, right? So it was like this idea of brick and mortar, where everybody's like, brick and mortar's dead. I was like, not at all. Like, brick and mortar is still very important because it provides you know, that sense of, you know, well, I'll say one for us, community, but validation, right? So it's that authority that you're like, oh, well, you can have a brick and mortar space. And as a retail space, it really allows us to be able to use this to bring people in. We host community gatherings. We bring people, you know, native folks in to be able to use this space. We're going to be launching our Game of Thrones night because we know that there's native nerds out there and non-native nerds that will be like, yeah, we're just gonna, this is our shop. This is what we do. We got a big projector and we put it up on the screen. So I think that's the benefit of a brick and mortar. And when we start thinking really creatively around how we use our brick and mortar spaces, then we can also be of a benefit to our community. The pop-up concept, we have Duende District Bookstore, which is a little pop-up bookstore that we work with, and they stock just a small set on their shelves of communities of color, writers of color in that space, and so authors of color. And so, you know, like, we have the ability to do that. We'll be like, here, take a few shelves. And we work out a deal with them, and it allows us to be able to, you know, coordinate with our other friends and allies.
Well, what is the thing you're most proudest of in the store?
Oh my goodness.
The thing that you were like, oh, this is...
honestly, I'll say the mural right now, like, that's brand new. And this particular wall, because this showcases all of the comics that we have, a lot of indie comics and stuff that we've been able to bring into the space. It's really exciting to have, you know, to be able to have this. Like, when we painted the store to begin with, it's, you know, it was kind of this. It used to be this sort of really pink color, which is still in the back room. But we repainted it in a way that was, you know, that was memorable for us. Sort of the earth and the sky was what we were really aiming for, which you can see. But then having the amazing Curtis Pink, Damian Davies, be able to, one of my friends, be able to put this mural up. This is homage to Jonathan Nelson's work, right? So we're getting all of these artists doing other artists. It's so great. So like, I'm so super proud of this right now. We just finished up the last little touches. just this week. So it's exciting for me.
Awesome. Thank you so much for letting us come view your shop, see it in real time. Where can people shop Red Planet online?
RedPlanetBooksNComics.com. Red Planet Books, the letter N Comics, all one word, RedPlanetBooksandComics.com.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you.